Okay, my name is Makshood. I am working as a trainer in Besant Technology, and today I am going to discuss about Selenium. What is Selenium and what is the requirement of Selenium in current real-time scenarios? So let's discuss. All we are familiar with the manual testing. So we need to do automate each and every web application. So we are having a functional testing tool that is called Selenium. How to use Selenium? What is the requirement of Selenium? The one thing we need to understand. Then we are executing so many test cases, and we are just checking each and every component and each and every module of our web application. So we used to, and we are just performing a repetitive task. To reduce the repetitive task, we are having automation. All the test cases which has been written in manual testing, we just have to convert the test cases into script. To convert the test case into script, we are having so many programming languages, and Selenium allows to access and understand so many programming languages. One of the languages like Java, like C Sharp, like Ruby, like Python. That languages we can write, and we can select to write the script, and that script has been converted all the manual test cases into our particular programming language. So Selenium is nothing but one of the automation tool. One of the automation tool, we are not saying it is automation tool, but it is one of the community that diversified and divided into mainly four categories. That four categories we can just say Selenium WebDriver, Selenium IDE, Selenium RC means Selenium Remote Controller, and Selenium Creative. Basically, these four tools are able to automate our web application, and this is the main purpose of Selenium. So we have to select one of the tool to automate our web application, because Selenium never supports, we can say, Windows based or desktop based web applications or even mobile applications. So we have to understand the basic tools related to Selenium. So first we are having a tool that is called Selenium IDE. It stands for Integrated Development Environment, that always allows to automate web application on the basis of command, target, and values. It is we can say one of the plugin and user interaction format. It always been used without any kind of a script. It will be automatically generated the script. Whatever you have to give, it will record and playback, and after playback it will just check whether whatever the actions you have performed previously, is it working fine or not. So your test case has been executed properly or not. If it is passed, then it will just give the message that it is passed. If it is failed, then it will just show the message that it is failed. So mainly IDE is a plugin, or we can say add-on of supported only a browser that is called Firefox. It never been used with some other browsers, because it is one of the plugin and add-ons that always be directly interact with your URL, and it is a record and playback tool, so it has some drawbacks. It never automate the major and critical web applications. It always been used with some Cygnus commands. Whatever the commands we are using, whatever the actions we have performed on our particular web application, it will just record and replay back, and then after it will just give the report that is it properly executed or not, or it is passed or not. So these are the main purpose of Selenium IDE, but we are having some more or other tools, like we are having Selenium RC. Selenium RC we are using as it stands for, we can say, remote controller. Selenium RC has been a first version of Selenium. It was developed by ThoughtWorks and Google itself. It was always been supported to multiple programming languages, multiple browsers, and multiple operating systems. RC has been, we can say, well-known tool to automate web application based on Selenium. So mainly RC was developed, and it was supported to all the platforms related to the automation. but it has also drawbacks. The drawback is that it has generated one policy. That policy, as being a part of related to the web application, that it always supports JavaScript based web applications. It has its own core library that is always been a part of JavaScript based. So it is never been used with that. Without that, it is not executing. It is already embedded with HTML, but the policy has always said that once you are having any kind of HTML file or something different files that has been embedded with JavaScript, you just have to check the domain of that particular. If the domain would be same, then the RC will be executed along with the server. Without server, RC will never independently execute or directly interact with the web browsers. So what you need to do, you just have to download the RC from its official site. After downloading the RC, you just have to download the server individually and interact with RC. Then after, you can directly add the URL, then will directly get the response from the HTTP server. Then you can execute your test case. Whatever the script you have given or you have written, it will be executed. Is being a part of RC. Due to this drawback, that is not embedded with some other domains and some other tasks, so we need to give the priority to one of the Selenium community tool, that is called Selenium WebDriver. Nowadays, it is currently each and every company are giving the priority to that persons only who has the knowledge about Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver is always been advanced version of Selenium. We can say that it is always been free and open source tool that allows to directly interact with your browser to automate your any web application. It is also supported to multiple operating system, multiple programming languages and multiple browsers. It has its own library that is called Selenium WebDriver core library that always been accessible. Once you are having the idea of a programming language, it will just use as one of the interface of that particular programming language. You just have to embed it with any kinds of files. Like if you are working with Java programming language and you want to embed Selenium, you just have to download the jar files of Selenium WebDriver. Then you can execute, then you can access. You have to start with some basic classes, because WebDriver contains packages, classes and interfaces. So if we want to launch the browser and directly interact with any browser, you just have to understand that we are having a classes. These are called Chrome driver, Firefox means Firefox driver, then you can say Safari driver, IE server driver. So these all are the classes. Once you are executing these files, it will give you the main execution part, or it will be work as a part of your script, because you are directly interact with your browser. So it is quite mandatory. Once you are working with the WebDriver, you just have to understand the library of the particular web application. WebDriver is always allowed to access each and everything. After, we are having a fourth one, that is called Selenium Grid. Why we are using Selenium Grid? One more thing is that we are facing so many compatibility issues. Whenever we are accessing a single test case, we have to understand that in my system it is working fine, but it is not being required that it would be fine in others system. So what I need to do, I have to check the compatibility of that particular web application or particular code. That is fine in other system, it should never generate any kind of compatibility issues. So to reduce this task and to mitigate this task, we are having a tool that is called Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid is always be allowed to check and remove the compatibility issues which has been generated by system. Like we have to check parallel execution, batch execution and group execution. That execution has been a part of your test cases which you have written, and you have to check whether it is working fine or not. So you just have to give the priority to different operating system, different browsers and different systems. After you are executing this, you are checking, you are giving some assurance